In today's video, we're going to look at the connection between a ball rolling down a ramp and the graphs of position, velocity, and acceleration versus time, and also the math associated with it. So I think everyone understands that when a ball rolls down a ramp, it increases in speed. And we see that quite clearly in this simulation. But the position versus time graph is a bit curious. It's not straight, indicating that if we calculate the slope's going to change. Now, in a position versus time graph, slope is velocity, so that tells us our velocity changes. Wait, we already knew that. Okay. Let's look at the velocity versus time graph. So we allow the ball to roll down the ramp, and we see again that the velocity changes with respect to time. Okay, that's very, very helpful. And we know that the slope of the velocity versus time graph is acceleration. So this is indicating that we are accelerating. Now we can look at the acceleration graph and see that it is accelerating. And we could just take the value right off the graph and say, oh, that's the acceleration. But it's not quite clear. They don't have enough markers on there for us to figure out acceleration. So I'm going to go back to the velocity versus time graph. And I'm actually going to calculate the slope of this graph so I know the value of acceleration. Slope requires 2 points, so I'm going to use 0, 0 because we started from the origin with a 0 velocity. And then it looks like 100 centimeters and 5 seconds is my other data point. So I'm going to quickly calculate acceleration. Acceleration equals slope. And I had, what was my 2 points? 100 centimeters per second. Centimeters per second minus 0, because we're starting from 0 to 0. And our time was 5 seconds. So 5 seconds minus 0. And we should be able to calculate the acceleration from that. So that becomes 100 centimeters divided by 5 seconds. Oops, I forgot those seconds. Divided by 5 seconds. And that's really important because what that's going to show is we have 2 seconds on the bottom, and we need to represent that in our answer. So mathematically, we have 100 divided by 5, which is 20 centimeters per second, and then my square to indicate I have both seconds on the bottom. So our acceleration for our ball rolling down the ramp was constant. It's 20 centimeters per second. So it's going to change the velocity, and it's going to change the displacement. So we have a couple of equations to use with that. Let's start with velocity. So this formula, v2 equals at, is often just set as v. Right? So this is referring to the second velocity. So I'll take that away. And this assumes v1 equals 0. v1 equals 0. This comes from the acceleration equation. If you'd like me to proof it, I can. It's really just a substitution of 0 into the acceleration equation, and you get v equals at. Now, I want to use some data from the graph to actually show you that, well, you don't even need the graph. You can just actually figure out velocity without the graph. You can just insert time in and multiply it by acceleration. For example, if we're talking about this ramp, our acceleration is 20 centimeters per second squared. So if time equals 1 second, what's v? All right, so let me write that out. So v equals 20 centimeters per second squared multiplied by 1 second. And I know this looks like an S, or 5, I apologize here, I'll make the 1 bigger so you can see it. That's a second. And I need that because I needed to cancel one of these seconds. And when I do that, I get a really easy math of 20 times 1, which is just 20 centimeters per second. So after 1 second, our speed is 20 centimeters per second. Now if I make this a little bit harder, let's say we're going to try an example of time equals 2 seconds. What's our v? So we have the same equation, we have the same acceleration, But now instead of inserting 1 in for time, we're going to insert 2 seconds. So 20 centimeters per second squared multiplied by 2 seconds. And again, the 1 of the seconds cancels out. And I'm left with 20 times 2, which is 40 centimeters per second. So as predicted, the speed is increasing. And we notice every second it's increasing by 20. So we can make a prediction. What would it be at 3 seconds? So I'm just going to write that out. Hopefully, you'll have figured it out by the time I finish writing it down. V equals. So at time equals 3 seconds, 3 times 20 is 60 centimeters per second. So multiple ways of doing the math because all of the things tie together. One of the things I remember is acceleration is always the same for this particular problem, right? This particular ramp, the acceleration is 20, and I just multiply it by time. I don't need to know any of the earlier stuff. I don't need to know any of the later stuff. I just need to know time and acceleration, and I get my velocity. So that is one aspect. Like we said, we knew the velocity was increasing. Now we don't even need the graph. We can just do the math. But what about displacement? So we have a formula for displacement. S equals 1/2 AT squared. And if you're interested in how this comes about, you can let me know. I'll make a video about that. This also assumes the same thing. It assumes that V1 equals 0. If it doesn't equal 0, then the equation slightly changes, but we're just going to work from this right now. Okay, so I'm going to just put that right next to it. I'm going to do the same problem. I want to know, for example, if time equals 1 second, now I want to know what S equals. And remember, S equals displacement. So in our formula, displacement equals 1/2 acceleration times time squared. So if I'm going to plug that in, I get S equals 1/2. A is 20 centimeters per second squared. And my time is the only thing that's going to be squared. So just remember, only time is squared. Now in this particular problem, it's not really that big of a deal. We have 1/2 times 20, that's 10 centimeters per second squared. Because multiplication doesn't matter what order you do it in. But we do have to do the square first. So we get 1, because 1 squared is 1. And then we do get seconds squared. And that's important because the seconds are going to completely cancel out, leaving us only with displacement. That's how we know we did our math correctly. And so then we get as an answer 10 times 1 is just 10 centimeters. Okay, let's try this again. And our example, our time equals 2 seconds. What is our S? Oops. In this particular case, we start off the same, 1/2 times A, which is 20. And then we have our time of 2 seconds. Okay, so, oops, I should multiply first. Okay, so 1/2 of 20 is 10. That's kind of the same as we did above. Centimeters per second squared. And then this is multiplied by 2 squared, which is really 4 squared. And now our seconds cancel out. And now we have 40 centimeters. What? 10 times 4 is 40. And this is very interesting. When we were doing the velocities, we really were just adding 20. We were just adding 20. And so every change of doubling caused a doubling in the velocity. So if you double time, you get double the velocity. You saw that here. 20 to 40 is 1 and 2. But if we do the same sort of work with the displacement formula, if we double the time, we more than double the distance. Okay, and so this is the exponential increase, and this is why the graph is curved. Oops, I'll go back to it. This is why this graph is curved, because we are increasing every second our distance traveled, and so we end up with even more. So this is going to take practice. Like I said, these equations assume V1 is 0. If they're not 0, we slightly change the equation, but you should still practice this sort of work. Let me know if you have any questions.